Was your weekend? I would love to know, and I would love for you guys to tell us on Living With Us social media. That's Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Just let us know. Did you do any of the things that I shared on Friday, actually? If you went to any of those events, please let us know. Share pictures, use the hashtag Living With Us. Now, for today's story, we're going into the story of fertility, or infertility more specifically. Our guest is Sheila Waki, and she's currently creating awareness on all matters around infertility. And she also has a Facebook page called Hannah's Heart, where she's been very open and graciously shared her story and her journey through infertility. And the reason why this is a conversation that we want to share and have with you is because a lot of times when you're growing up, and especially as a woman, there's this preconceived story that's already set out for you on how your life needs to be. And a big part of that story is children. How many children are you going to have? When are you going to have them? What's the space between them? How should you raise them? It can be exhausting, but for a lot of women, it's not that easy. And in fact, it's the most complicated part, the part about having children. It's not that easy. And here's a quick fact for you. According to the 2017 data by Kenya Fertility Society, 2 in every 10 couples suffer from infertility. So it's something that's a lot more common than you realize, and yet it's not that talked about. It's still quite taboo. But welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
How are you feeling today?
Excited,
yeah?
Excited,
What did you do for the weekend?
Lots of church,
okay.
Because I serve full time. So for me, it's lots of church, hanging out with my husband, lots of church.
Okay.
Church again.
So your husband, what's your husband's name?
Tele.
Yes. Okay, and how long have you been married?
8 good years, solid.
Oh, that's so nice. How did the two of you meet? Actually, I know this story. I'm just asking it for you guys, because earlier she was telling me and I was like, what? Okay, but yeah, why don't you share? How did you two meet?
Okay, so we were primary school desk mates, so that's where we met, but we did not start dating then.
Okay.
Heads up.
Okay.
Yeah, we started dating after we finished high school.
Yeah.
Just before we went into campus. No, actually, wait. We started dating.
Careful, this is where you could get in trouble if you don't get
so
that.
I really need to be clear.
Right.
Maybe I was in my own world at that point. But I remember we started dating before campus.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, beautiful. So 8 years strong.
Yes.
And growing up, did you dream of having a family, or what were your thoughts on that, on having children and getting married?
You can't really say dream per se, because it's the natural thing to happen, right?
Yeah.
So it's expected. So in myself, it's get married, have fun, have children.
Yeah.
Life goes on. Let's see what to do with life.
Okay.
You know?
So that was your order.
Yes.
So it was like, get married, have a little time out for the two of you,
Yes.
and then have children.
Yes.
And so at which point did you start to realize, like, this isn't quite like that plan I had in my head?
Yeah. So as soon as we got married, like straight from the honeymoon, which was say 2 weeks into our marriage, my mom-in-law was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I became her primary caregiver. So that consumed so much of my time and energy.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't disturbing you that year 1 has passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was sick for 2 years before she passed away.
Okay.
So that it really didn't bother us that much, because hey, you're busy with other things.
Yeah.
Then after that, year 3, and you're like, okay.
Yeah. And you were actively trying at this time.
Yes, very active.
Okay.
Though not saying, let's try this month.
Okay.
It's not like you're actively saying, you're just going along with the flow and enjoying life and saying, you know what, if they come, awesome. If they don't, let's deal with that when that gets there. Yeah.
So at which point or which year did you then decide, maybe I should go in and ask maybe my gynecologist if everything is okay? Or
2015, November, December, that was a very hard season for me. I just lost my best friend. So my body just exploded into very interesting issues. And I remember December, I got a very, very painful period. It was so painful.
Yeah.
That was our, okay, we need to see a doctor.
Yeah.
Something
and
is
when
not
you say
right.
painful period, you mean cramps or?
It was cramps on another level.
Okay.
It was just crazy.
Yeah.
So that was our wake up call.
Okay.
Like something is amiss. We really need to see a doctor.
Okay, so you go to the doctor and what do they say?
So we postpone a bit.
Okay.
We'll go. But come January, I developed some interesting symptoms while at work. I'm shaking and it's not normal, headache slightly here and there. I'm rushed to Warwick, Nairobi Hospital.
Okay.
And they find my sugar levels are high. And they're like, well, that's a bit weird. You're exhibiting signs of low sugar. Why is your sugar high?
Yeah.
So that brought us the questions. Are you diabetic? Is your family diabetic? What's going on with the sugars in your life? And that prompted them to ask me to go for further tests.
Okay.
So it was that now caused us to see a gyna, and they end up finding I have PCOS.
And what is PCOS?
PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Okay.
And it has they don't know what causes it, and they don't have a clear treatment for it.
Okay.
Yes. So what they do is just manage symptoms.
Okay.
And it can be non-symptomatic.
Wow.
So you're just moving around and
Okay. So the doctor diagnosed you with that at that point, and what are you thinking? What's going through your mind?
Me.
Yeah. When they
So he's talking to you like me. Oh, there's no one else in this room. Me.
Right.
Sure. Right. Cool. Okay.
So how did you make peace with that? How did you come to terms with it? If at first your reaction is like, no, I hear what you're saying, but it couldn't be about me.
Yeah.
So how did you then go and merge those two worlds, the world that you thought was your reality and what is actually your reality?
Just have a kamkunji with yourself.
Okay.
I just had a sit down with myself, and I'm like, you know what, this is what it is. And it makes sense because, hey, there are no children.
Yeah.
So it does make sense.
Yeah.
1 and 2 together, it's okay. Let's just accept. And what is the way forward?
Right.
So our next visit to the doctor was, what's the way forward?
And what did the doctor say at this point?
He then, they found other issues in addition to the PCOS. They found I had a blocked tube. My left blocked tube, my left fallopian tube is blocked.
Okay.
And they found I had fibroids. So for the doctor, it was more of surgery to remove the fibroid.
Yeah.
Because of where it was positioned. And that is what now we decided, let's deal with this, because it might help. Depending on where the fibroid was positioned.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear you. We asked a specialist to share some of the treatment options that are available to women suffering and men suffering from infertility. Take a look.
What infertility is, I think that's a very harsh word. Infertility means that it's absolute, and I like the word subfertility, which means that for a couple who have been trying to conceive, have been together for a year and they're not able to conceive, then we think there might be a problem, and that we term as subfertility. The investigations that we do both on the male and the female to ascertain the cause of infertility or subfertility at that point, and then be able to determine the best mode of treatment for them. The treatment options are very varied and really depend on what we see in terms of the investigations that we've done. So it could be from simple treatments like an ovulation induction. This is especially for patients with polycystic ovarian syndrome, where you don't ovulate every month. Most women don't even get their menses for a month, or some even up to a year. For these people, we need to assist with medication, and that sometimes is the only thing that we need to do. Another thing that we could do for these patients is something called timed intercourse, and for this it's a bit more technical, because you have to come for follow-up and for to check when you're ovulating, and then we're able to tell you when is the best time to have intercourse with your partner for a successful fertilization. Another treatment that we could do is intrauterine insemination, which is also artificial insemination, where we actually assist the sperm to get closer to the egg for fertilization. And this is a very simple technique. It's the same that is done by the vets for other animals, and that's something that does assist patients with infertility or subfertility. And the last but most emotional, I guess, is IVF, which is in vitro fertilization. And this is where we actually harvest the eggs from the lady in a 12 to 14-day process of injections. At the end, we harvest the eggs by a small mini theater procedure, and then we put them together with the sperm either out inside the lab, and we're able to assist in fertilization, observe their growth, and determine what is best to put back, and hopefully implantation will work and the lady will get pregnant.
Okay, so at this point then, when you start the treatment options and the surgery, had you shared with your family and friends what was taking place?
I'm so grateful that as a family we're very close. Like my side of the family, we're really, really close. So it wasn't, oh my gosh, how do I do this? Oh my, no, it was, you know, this is what the doctor has found, this is what is happening. I need to go for surgery on this and this day, and yeah. Yeah. And yeah.
How did you deal with the questions? And again, it goes back to what the society is sort of built around, which is you just need to grow up and have a family. And so it's so often that you hear aunts, a lot of times it's the aunts asking, so now where are the children? What's gonna why are you wasting time? TikTok.
I need to be a
or it could be it could be your sister, it could be your friends, it could be your mom. How did you deal with the questions and the prodding?
So I'm told I'm a smart mouth.
Okay.
Yeah. So that worked so hard in my favor, because if you gave me a question, I would give you a very interesting answer.
Like
that would
what?
Cause you.
Yeah.
I remember those ones. Someone asked me, "Are you praying about it? Have you prayed?" I know, right? And that's nothing, honey. Are you praying about it? And I just told them, you know, just sit in that corner, talk to God. Then whatever he tells you, come and tell me. Because clearly, you seem to be the one praying.
Yeah,
and I'm
or
not.
A better connection.
Hello.
Maybe
Yeah.
What do you, it's crazy.
So it's just those quick snap answers that just over time have made people just don't
cross that line.
You really, really need to know what you're asking, and it better don't come out of ignorance.
Yes. And that often is the case, or a sense of over familiarity. You can't ask me.
And an entitlement to my life.
Yeah. And to this plan.
Yes.
And that you therefore need to stick to it.
Exactly.
So that they feel comfortable.
Exactly.
It's just madness.
Yeah. Or someone comes and rubs your belly, and that time you're so bloated, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, how are you?" And you're like,
like there's so many crazy, foolish, ignorant things that take place. But I think it's important when we do have these conversations, because it's showing people, one, don't ask.
Don't do that.
Don't ask. Like, so when are you having children? When are you having your second child? Don't do that, and then never assume. You could be this far out in your pregnancy, and I'll still be like, you're pregnant?
I know.
Because you don't want to assume. Wow. You just don't want to assume.
Yeah.
Anyway, we need to take a quick break, but we will be back in a few minutes. Welcome back. I've been talking to Sheila Waki, who's this. You've got such a contagious spirit and like a beautiful smile, despite having been diagnosed with infertility quite early on. Or actually, it wasn't quite early on. It was like 5 years into your 4 or 5 years into your marriage. But it seems like it still hasn't defeated your spirit.
No.
Now I wanna go back into the beginning of your marriage. You're married to Tele, 8 years now.
Yes.
Had you had a conversation about children at any point?
Always.
Okay.
Yeah, for us, I think because we both appreciate just being open and being real.
Yeah.
Such conversations are not awkward. From dating, so how many do you want?
Yeah.
What would you like?
Right. And did it ever cross your mind that there could be an issue or in complications?
At that point, when we were dating,
Yeah.
no, because, hey, standard, you walk in and walk out at the other end with babies. Hello.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. And it seems like also for the longest time, all you're doing is trying not to get pregnant before you get married.
Yes.
And so afterwards, you just assume like, oh, it's just going to come naturally. So how did this affect Tele? Because I know it's something that was very personal to you and it's your body that's going through this. But how did you both navigate that, given that you were just a few years into your marriage?
I'm grateful that we were friends way before. We actually dated for 12 years.
Oh, wow.
Before
so
we
you
got
weathered
married.
everything and anything.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we were very good friends before the rings came in.
Yeah.
And that really helped because then it's not awkward. It's not, okay, that space for what's going to happen. This is the problem. We need a solution. What do we do? Let's do it. So there's a silent agreement to just be together and walk through this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you were diagnosed with PCOS, was there any sense of hope around that diagnosis, that there could be a possibility of having children, or is it?
Every month is a sense of hope. Every day is a sense of hope. It's crazy because that's all you cling to.
Yeah.
That's all you have left.
Right.
Yeah, you don't have an option. It's all you have left.
Right.
Yeah, and you just hope, okay, maybe this month. Then you see Auntie Flo and you're like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Okay, next month then.
Next month, back to the drawing board. It's okay.
Yeah.
How did you both in your marriage reach a level of self-acceptance? Because I hear that hope is a big part of this, but there is also the reality, which is, you know, that you were diagnosed with PCOS. So how do you balance between being hopeful but accepting that your body is what it is and it is still beautiful and powerful? So
I'm grateful for a man who's just amazing. Let me tell you, this guy is amazing on crazy levels.
Yeah.
As every single day.
Yeah.
Whether I look fine, whether I look like the world just passed with a tornado through the house, and you know, and you even want the Dera inside out.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm a huge fan of them too, by the way. Live in them. Yeah.
Every day he will tell me you're beautiful.
Oh.
Every day. Whether I have whatever it is, he will say you're beautiful and you're mine. You're beautiful and you're mine. So everything you're going through is my burden as well.
Oh.
And that makes it so much easier for me.
I hear that.
Because I'm not fighting.
Yeah, and it's because a lot of times this could be a difficult point in a relationship because you came in with these expectations. It's not the reality, but you've had to just come to terms and adjust.
Yeah.
Were there any lifestyle changes that you had to make?
Lots. With diabetes?
Yeah.
Oh, lots. Because
what are those? Yeah.
What PCOS does, it messes up with some of your hormones. So you end up producing more male hormones than the female hormones.
Okay.
So you experience lots of stuff like chin hairs.
Okay.
And mood swings, and it's just crazy.
Yeah.
And in the process also your insulin now gets affected because it's a hormone.
Okay.
So that's how the diabetes comes in.
Yeah.
So you have to change your diet, you have to change basically your exercise routine.
To move a few years experience or just starting out, did you have that community around you?
The community came to me.
Okay.
Because
How?
again, remember, I'm very smart-mouthed, I'm vocal.
Yeah.
So
which I think is a great thing.
Yes, for me it
and I don't
works.
think you even need to shy, especially here.
I'm fine.
You need to draw that line very clearly.
Yeah.
Don't cross.
So that worked in my favor, because then I would not be shy to share with you. If you asked me why I'm looking tired, I tell you my hormones are messed up. I'm not in my zone today.
Yeah.
And you'd probably ask why, and I tell you because I'm going through fertility treatment, and it's crazy. It messes me up.
Yeah.
So through that and just sharing, like I'd wake up in the morning and you just get this nugget from the Holy Spirit. I'm born again and I love God so much. So in your communication with him in the morning, he'll just drop something in my spirit regarding what I'm going through. And I'd post that on Facebook. And the next thing you know, it's like you're starting fire.
Yeah.
Man, inboxes like, oh my gosh, you have no idea what you've just said. You have no idea what you've just done for me. I've been struggling for this number of years. And yeah, so you even got to the point where ladies are asking you to help pray with them.
Right.
And let me tell you, as we speak, 90% of those I've prayed with have conceived.
Oh.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes. So the community came to me.
Yeah.
I allowed them to come to me.
And it's because you were open as well about your journey, something that a lot of people aren't open about.
Exactly.
And so you talked about fertility treatments just now.
Yes.
Can you take me through what that was like?
You're not pre-warned.
Warn us.
You're not given a heads up of what will come.
Yeah.
But you go in, and remember the treatment began with me going through the surgery to remove the fibroid.
Yeah.
And the doctor actually found the fibroid was growing inward into my uterus more than it was outside. So that, oh my gosh, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And that's when he noticed as well that the way my tube was blocked, he could not do anything about it.
Okay.
And then he also found at the end of the fallopian tubes are things called fimbria.
Okay.
Fimbria like fingers, and they collect the egg from the ovary into the fallopian tube, into the uterus.
Yeah.
And they found mine was stuck onto my intestine walls.
Oh.
So he had to, they're like this.
Yeah.
So he had to cut and loosen them.
Yeah.
So treatment began there.
Yeah.
And then come the pills, the ovulation pills, and let's try and increase the egg production in your, oh, honey.
So what was that like for you physically?
Painful.
Oh.
Because, first of all, you're taking like 7 tablets in the morning and in the evening.
Okay.
You're already dragged like crazy. You're not operating on your normal levels. And then there are days you even have to inject yourself at specific times. And your hospital visits are like dated. Be here on this day at this time because you need to receive this injection.
Yeah.
Be here on depending on your calendar and your cycle.
Okay.
So because of that, though, my ovaries would produce more eggs than normal, so that we can try and increase our chances of conceiving. A woman usually produces just 1 egg per month.
Okay.
And I'd sometimes produce 6, 7.
Oh, wow. So
8.
what does physically, does that mean that you're fatigued? Or how does that affect your body?
You're fatigued, you're moody,
Okay.
I remember there was a time I stayed 3 months. I didn't want to talk to my mother. She would call me and I'm like, oh must I really do this?
And previously you were very close.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she wouldn't understand.
Why?
Yes.
So did you at some point stop the treatment?
After 1.5 years, we decided I'm too tired. And no, by then I've even stopped working. Because you're not productive.
Yeah.
And the doctors are like, you know what, if you need to conceive, then you need to even stop any level of stress in whatever way.
And I can imagine it's like you know, the fact that you're not conceiving is stressing you, but you can't be stressed so that you can conceive. So it's this weird...
It's a crazy cycle.
Cycle that you find yourself trapped in. So physically, I can hear that it took a toll on your body.
So huge. And because your ovary is also producing extra eggs, you can literally feel on your side.
Whoa.
It's so painful. You can't even touch, bend, walk, go to the loo. It's a story.
Now, spiritually, how did that affect you? And emotionally too, because I've heard you share how physically it was a lot, but I'm sure spiritually it must have tested your faith, I assume, and also emotionally it just must have been draining. So how did it affect you, and how did you handle it?
So spiritually was an interesting twist, because at that point I was working in church full time. Okay. As a paid church staff. Yeah. And I resigned. And at that point, now you have Monday to Monday, doing nothing. You don't feel like seeing anyone. So it's just you, God, and the house. Yeah. Indoors, just you and your God. You and God conversations. It's just you and those questions and what's going on, God. What do you want, God? Me? Why not that guy who's robbing people on the streets, you know? But at the end of the day, we became very close, God and I. Okay. And that has anchored me so deep, so deep. I'm able to move around my life because I know it's not my business. It's His. So yeah, when He's ready, He will give me. The Bible says children are a gift from God. So why am I struggling to hustle a gift from the owner's hands? It should be Him just, you know, have. And that's a point I reached. Emotionally, I'm so grateful for the support system I have. I'm so grateful for that. I'll forever be indebted to God for that.
And that is your husband,
my husband, my family, my friends. Yeah. People who just understood.
Yeah. And the community too, I guess, that you were building around you of women in the same space. What are some of the biggest lessons that you've drawn from this journey?
Please be happy. Be happy. It's not a must. And there's so much more than having children. We've gotten to a point where some people look at the way me and my husband relate and they say, I want what you have. And you're thinking, no. We want what you have.
It's funny, grass is always greener on the other side.
So we just decided, let's water ours and have fun. Do things we would not do if children were here, you know, go out until late, eat just sandwiches for dinner, watch movies, you know, just do us and enjoy each other's company, because when they come, then our time might be shared elsewhere. I love that. That was our biggest lesson. Let's just be, let's just do us.
And to be happy. Find happiness in every little moment.
Imagine it's okay. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, Sheila. We have to take another quick break, but we'll be back very shortly to continue with Sheila's magnificent, inspiring story. We'll be back shortly.
This is NTV.
Get an 8th egg of food.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we've been talking to Sheila Waki about her journey and her struggle with infertility. And earlier on, I gave a quick fact, and that is 2 out of 10 families struggle with this. And we'd love to hear from you, actually. So if you are going through this and want to share, then please hit us up on social media. That's Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. That's Living With Us. Or you can check out Hannah's Heart, which is a Facebook page that you started, where you share and you open up about your journey and your struggles. And then earlier we were talking about some of the things that people say, and you just are like, oh, okay, this is a test, and I shall pass.
And you are a testimony. You know?
Now, I want to know from you, what are some of the things that you really appreciated when people said or did?
I loved the nurses at the clinic I used to go to.
Okay.
Because you are not sick. They wouldn't treat you like, oh my gosh, oh, come, you know, it's easy. Yeah, come, let's do your vitals, how are you, how are things. That made you feel very, oh, so I'm not so badly off. I'm okay. Yeah. I'm okay. Then my friends, you know it comes from a genuine heart. And they'll tell you, we're praying for you. We're praying for you. We're praying for you. Others will be like, you're such an inspiration. I'm not going through half what you're going through, but the way you live your life. So for me to even think that in my pain, I'm a blessing.
Yeah.
Let's rock this.
I love in my pain, I'm a blessing.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And I think that's exactly what's even happening now with women who are watching and are struggling in the
you're not alone.
In the same journey.
Yes.
To know that you can still be a source of light and positivity and power, and that it is okay.
Yeah.
We asked a specialist to share their thoughts on how the community and society in general can be more sensitive towards women and men struggling with infertility. Take a look.
I think there's a lot of stigma around about subfertility or fertility issues still in our country. I think the media has elaborated it more than we could ever, with people's hands being chopped off and all these stories that we hear. And I think it's important for people who are not struggling, because some people get pregnant very easily, and for a group of the population, about 10%, and we think it's growing to even 15 to 20% of our population, they struggle, and it gets to 1 year to 3 years. And I think it's important for people not to cause a lot of stress on the couple, because they already have their internal stress. Something that is thought to be very easy can become very hard. I would ask mother-in-laws in particular, plus friends and sisters. It's usually the females, I don't know why, but just to be more sensitive to what they say around women who they might not know why they're not conceiving, because I think a lot of couples say that they are really stressed because of, I think just be a bit more sensitive. I think it should be said out to everybody. So just to be more sensitive about how you treat other people.
Earlier you were talking about how you and your hubby, it's So what are some of the
sensitive to this other person? So if I'm having a bad day, or he knows she'll come home tired, I'll find him. He'll send me a message, WhatsApp message with a photo of dinner is ready.
What?
So I don't have to come home and cook. So I'm just coming home to chill, you know? So just being that extra sensitive to each other.
That is so precious. Yeah. That's a great tip for people watching right now who may not be going through it, but their partner is physically going through the motions of whether it's fertility treatments or you know, what you were just sharing. What are some other things that you would give as advice to those partners on how to handle their partner, their spouse, man or wife, in a manner that's still dignified and supportive?
Please be patient with each other.
Okay.
You're each going through this differently. Yes, you're together, but you're alone.
Yeah.
And if you don't learn to be patient with each other, then you'll continuously just clash.
Yeah.
So that has worked for us. Be patient, grow your compassion muscle.
Yeah.
Just reach out to this person, find out, okay, maybe I've noticed when she's moody, she likes this. Allow her to do that. Yeah, just be very compassionate and just grow the empathy and compassion muscles.
Right.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Now, what are some of the resources that you think are available now that could help men and women going through infertility? I know earlier you were talking about something that's coming up.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us about
So
that?
there's this exciting forum I'm on Facebook called Waiting Wombs Trust.
Waiting?
Wombs Trust. We
Waiting
call ourselves
Wombs Trust.
Waiting Wombs.
Okay.
Started by a lady called Editor Hadassah.
Yeah.
And she's been going through the journey for 11 years now.
Yeah.
So there's just a mixture of people, women especially,
Yeah.
many women,
Yeah.
who just, this is what I'm going through, guys. Imagine I went to test and it's negative again. Sharing stories. And let me tell you, as that forum can be so heavy because people share really sad stories. I am so blessed. I step back and I'm like, you know what? I have the best of this. Yes, it's a hard deal, but I have the best of this. I'm the one who got the cream on the top because people are being mistreated in their homes.
No.
They're being stepped on and just being made to feel like they're nothing.
Yeah.
Insulted by in-laws and family.
Oh man, right. But at least for them, this space,
there's that space
online,
to just,
is their way to release and to not feel judged.
Exactly.
Because that's a big part of this.
It is.
You know, the judgment that comes with, well, there needs to be kids at this time, keep it moving.
And you're not the one giving it, so next person.
Right, yeah.
And we're having a conference this Friday. About 150 women will be together. And these are just those who could afford to pay.
Yeah.
There are many others who probably would have wanted or cannot afford or don't have the time. But these have come out and we're all going to be together in Elementaita for like 2 nights.
Yeah.
It's so exciting just to be in that space where everyone is having a similar struggle.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to come along, they could contact the Waiting Wombs Trust on Facebook, and they'll be given details on
Waiting Wombs Trust on Facebook.
Yes.
I think that would be a fantastic idea for anyone going through this. Just to remind yourself, you are not alone.
Yes.
Your story isn't singular.
Yes.
Now, again, this is obviously a really stigmatized topic, but you've done a very good job of destigmatizing it and being very open and honest about your struggles and your journey. Were you always this open about any things that, you know, whatever it is that you were going through?
Yeah.
And
what you see is what you get.
I love that.
This is my life. This is me. So it's not a shock to many. In fact, those who know me, it's not a shock that, she's talking about it. Because I would talk about it anyway. Am I doing a good job? I'm yet to... You know, when you feel like... there's so much more to be done and I need to.
Yeah, but I know, but it's just one step at a time, one conversation after another. And the next thing you know, the society is shifting, and then that school of thought is shifting, and people are more sensitive to the questions and the things you shouldn't be asking. Like, let's leave the question of when children are coming in, you know, out of the conversation.
And this is such a beautiful opportunity to do that. So thank you guys.
No,
thank you so
you.
much.
Thank you. Before I let you go, I just want to know from you, what are some of the self-care things that you do? Things that you do to just have fun and to relax, to remind yourself that, you know what, I am deserving of happiness and I'm going to make that moment now.
So I listen to my body a lot. As if I'm tired, I'm tired.
A lot of people don't do that. You keep pushing.
If I'm tired, I'm tired. I won't go to work, I won't do anything. I'm tired. And I won't give you an explanation. So sorry, I'm tired. What more do you want, you know? Exercise, eat well, just enjoy life. It's not so strict. Please don't be so harsh on yourself. Imagine you only have yourself. There's no copy of you. There's no copy of your life. So we enjoy, us guys go to the movies. I love going to the movies with my husband. And we'll do those weird shows, 11 a.m. on a Wednesday.
Where it's like 300
I know,
bob
right?
for
And
a
it's just the
ticket.
two of you,
Yeah.
and you can scream and just yell and clap as loud
Yeah.
as, and just the things that I love doing, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the number one thing I've taken from that is that you listen to your
Oh,
body.
I listen to my body.
And quite often we don't. We ignore if there's something that's hurting or pain. In fact, this weekend I was making fun of my best friend because she'll sneeze and she's like, "Chew! Oh, I need the doctors." And I'm like, "Relax.
It's you
just take it easy.
relax.
It's not yeah. But she's so aware of whatever is taking place in her body, and sometimes we numb it down and act as if that's not
so
worth
big a
going.
deal.
Yeah, it's fine. You're just tired. People get tired. Get over it.
Yes.
And we need to be kind to ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The rat race is not a race. It's your own race. So stop looking at the next person and thinking they go to work, oh my gosh, they get money, oh my gosh, I need to do the same. You'll kill yourself.
Exactly.
And they'll bury you and continue running, you know?
You heard it.
Yeah. So just do you. There was a point in my life I actually, me, a pastor, spoke to a counselor. I went for therapy. So it's okay.
I love that.
People, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Engage with your God. Engage with your God. That will ground you like crazy because it's his word against the next
rest.
person.
Yeah.
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 So
I love that.
yeah, those
Some
are the
good,
things that
solid
have,
gems to
yeah,
leave us
those
with.
are the things that have kept me going. Just have fun with my life.
Thank
Do
you.
what I can. What I can't, we'll sort it out another day.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sheila.
Thank you so much for having me.
being so gracious and sharing your story
You're
with us
welcome.
and with others. And if you're going through this, remember that you can go to the Facebook page that's
There's
exactly smashed. His achievement was all the more remarkable given that he ran the last 17 kilometers alone after his pacemakers dropped out early. So, Eliud, let me tell you, you've made us so proud. Thank you for making this country so proud. And now I'm just gonna love you and leave you, wish you a phenomenal day, and may you continue to power through whatever struggles you're going through, knowing that you are not alone and you can choose to still be happy, okay? We'll see you tomorrow, 8 a.m. sharp. Bye.